journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Real heroes are all around us. A hero can be someone who can stand in the community and speaks their hopes and passions and work towards it. नमस्कार, म शान्ति लिम्बू तपाईहरुलाई बीजीबी इन्टरटेनमेन्ट युके को प्रस्तुति हेलो नमस्ते टक शो कार्यक्रममा स्वागत गर्दछु. Today we have a special guest who served in the community of Rushmore as a mayor in 2018 to 2019 and 2017 to 18 as a deputy mayor. At present, he is the cabinet champion for climate change action for 2022 to 2023. He is also from Conservative Party, UK, Mr. Steve Masterson. Let's welcome him to the show.
And they just sat and talked to me, and it so happened that one of the people that was sitting over there was someone that used to work in Debenhams and now was a senior in the Guiding Association and what have you, and she just sort of sat there. You hear about different things, you see different things, and you're always storing things away. So if someone says, oh, I need this doing, or I need that doing, or what do you think about this? And you think, right, that officer might be able to help me there, or I might know someone that can do that. You know, I at the moment, and I'm delighted to be the councillor for Kirkby Southwood, as I said, with my colleagues Martin Tennant and Sue Carter. But we're also borough councillors, so we also get involved on a wider scale as well, and I think that's important. And I don't mind who talks to me. You know, I might not have all the answers, but it's, you know, I might know an officer or a man or woman that can help or assist at the council or whatever. And sometimes it's just signposting people, it's directing people, and to help. So they don't feel let down or left out, or whether they be a part of a community, but the whole community. And that's important to me, that everyone feels as welcome as they can be. You know, because there'll be cases where people may not fit in because it's so different to what they're used to. But as long as I think, as a council, as a community, we try and make people feel as welcome from wherever they come, and if they're willing to integrate, it makes it easier, doesn't it? Yeah. You know, I think that's important.
So, in your experience or in your opinion, so what are the key ability or what are the key things that someone need to have to become a mayor, or
I think to be able to communicate. I know that's a simple thing to say, but you have to be able to interact with people. You have to be able to listen to people. And again, to use the words I've just used seconds ago, never assume and presume, because people have multiple areas that they're concerned about. And I think it's rather than, because there's so many people I've seen over the years, you don't feel they're listening to you, or they're not, and so listen, take it on board. I never promise anything. Yeah. Because if I promise, I have to deliver. And sometimes you're not able to deliver everything. That's the nature of life, isn't it? Nature of the beast. So, but no, I think the ability is to be able to communicate to people, talk to people. When I started work in 1979, I was very shy, very, very shy. And if you're working in retail, you can't afford to be shy. You need to talk to people. Yeah. And that has helped me the role of working within the community as the service in the service sector has helped me with the role I have as a counsellor, because I genuinely like talking to people and trying to resolve problems or enhance. I suppose all of us as counsellors, irrespective of where we come from, what we want to try and do is enhance the lives of our residents that we represent, you know, and see how we can improve or better their lives if possible, but not to be intrusive, not to push ourselves in, but because there are so many ways of communicating now. Years ago, you would walk around your ward all the time, but people don't, they might appreciate it, but they're far happier to contact you via text or by phone or via email now. And hopefully you still achieve the same thing. You know, I'm not saying we don't go and see residents, but it's in a different way now. And you evolve and you move, don't you, with the times. And I think, well, however they want us to talk to them, or however they want us to meet them or to contact them, that's fine by me, you know. And I think I've got 2 or 3 different phone numbers I can be contacted on email, on you name it, on text, and people have got my, you know, my mobile number, so I'm quite happy if they text me, and I don't mind. It's not an inconvenience to me. I wouldn't do it if I didn't want to. No one says to me, right, Steve, you've got to do this. We want you to stand for council. I choose to do it because I want to do it, and because I like it, and I get fun and I get pleasure out of it.
Any challenges you faced when you were a mayor? Like, what are the challenges that's come to?
I don't think it's a challenge as such. It's, you have so many events to attend, and it's trying to fit all the
Time
events
management.
in. You know, and I can give you an example.
Yeah.
In 2018, when I became mayor, I could see that my diary was getting busier and busier in June.
Yeah.
So I took 2 weeks holiday off in June, and I did 25 events in 2 weeks.
Wow.
You know, and that keeps you busy. It keeps you focused. And the people that I loved meeting, I loved meeting them all, but the ones I particularly liked meeting were the youngsters, the junior school children, that sort of thing, because they're so inquisitive, and they're so, everyone's fun to be with, and it's nice, you know, and it's nice to talk to people. And I went to one where I was invited because a brownie pack or whatever was celebrating a certain time that they'd been in operation, and the brownies were sitting there. So I said to the senior person there, I said, well, look, get them to come over here, talk to me. You know, I said, I don't mind, they can sit and talk to me. Tell them to relax, you know, and they just, and she went, oh, are you sure? And I went, yes, yeah, talk to me. You know, and they just sat and talked to me, and it so happened that one of the people that was sitting over there was someone that used to work in Debenhams and now was a senior in the guiding association and what have you, and she just sort of sat there. And it's, they ask you funny questions, you know, and and I'd finished something at one of the schools, and one of the teachers said, Mr. Mayor, do you know what they want to do with you now? And I said, well, no, not at all. They said, well, could you come out into the playground and play football with them? I said, well, I would, but I'm very busy. So it's nice, and you know, it's the way I look at it, whatever role you're doing in life. But when I was mayor, I found that people shouldn't be frightened of approaching me, shouldn't feel that I was grand or whatever, you know, because so many of the children think you live in a big house, and you know, and I do live in a nice house, but they think it's something akin to a palace or that sort of thing, you know, and they're just so lovely, you know. And one person said, did I know Mr. Trump? And I said, no, I didn't know Mr. Trump, but no, so they've got to feel happy. And it was quite funny, I went to one school where I was there as the mayor, so dealing with the civic side, and there was a chap dealing there with this, he was an estate agent, lovely guy, and obviously they wanted him to be talked about housing. So what did they do? Start asking me things about housing, and the teacher had to say, no, the mayor is here to talk about this. Speak to this man because he's dealing with housing. And they're just, I love it because they're so innocent and they're just inquisitive. Yeah. And the others, and also when I went to tech college and spoke to the students, that was interesting. And then I attended a thing in Alton. It's a big Muslim event. And they said, well, could you do an interview, Mr. Mayor? And I said, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. And I said, and just out of interest, how many is this going to? Then, oh, 6 million. I went, oh, okay. 6 million, I think, okay. And then we had to address an audience of 25,000, and I had to make a speech in front of 25,000 people, which is different, you know. And it's, of course, this particular speech was written for me because, you know, there were certain things that I had to get 100% right, names and what have you. And that was interesting, you know. So it's different, it's varied, and probably about 97, 98% of the speeches that I did, I wrote myself.
Oh, really?
So, and the team at the council were brilliant. They, for what I call the big things, like the big military parades where you had to know the set names of different people, they would do the speech and what have you. But apart from that, even when I had my banquet and ball, I wrote the speech for that and what have you. And I went up to the council and said, okay, and I adapted it 3 times and what have you. So people assume you've got speech writers, but in the main, you know, it was like 98% of it I did myself, which is nice because it's more of a flow. You know what you want to say. So, and I just love it because you meet so many different people, and the main thing for me is that you promote whatever you're there.
Yeah.
So I would come home, or I would sit in my car after the event, and I would type up a few things, and I would put it on Facebook or whatever, or Twitter, just to promote where I've been. It's not so much about me, but it's promoting where I've been. And the funniest one was, one of the funniest ones, we had to go around Frimley Park Hospital on Christmas Eve singing to the patients.
Oh.
Well, if you've heard me sing, well, anyway, I went round and there were groups of us, I think about 8 groups of 8, and we were all spread across the hospital. And the rumour was that after I'd been, I think it was as deputy mayor, in intensive care or one of those wards, all the equipment went wrong, and I'm thinking, oh, God, you know, was my singing that bad? But no, but no. So it's the varied nature of what you do, and that's the lovely thing about being a counsellor, because you see, so you know, you hear about different things, you see different things, and you're always storing things away. So if someone says, "Oh, I need this doing, or I need that doing, or what do you think about this?" and you think, right, that officer might be able to help me there, or I might know someone that can do that. And it's just being a link, you know, trying to help, and sometimes it doesn't go as quickly as you would like, but you hopefully in the end achieve what you set out to do. And I think that's what gives me a buzz, you know, and it's nice, you get, you know, which you don't expect and you don't look for, thank you cards or Christmas cards or whatever, and that's lovely, you know, but you're there to serve the community, aren't you? That's, for me, that's the key thing. And as I say, it doesn't matter to me, as I said to you earlier, Shanti, how small the problem, how big the problem, I'll try and deal with it. And I'm very lucky, like us all probably on the council, that we have good relationships with our officers that we work with, and the teams, because they're wonderful as well, and they support us, and we try and work, you know, in a sort of collegiate, in a nice way with them, and it benefits our residents, and that's who we're here to serve and to try and promote whatever concerns they have and to help them.
Before moving on to the next question, let's take a short commercial break. Welcome back after a short commercial break. This program is supported by Now Mortgages, and I am here with our special guest, Mr. Steve Masterson. Now we have a rapid fire sections where you have to try to give short answers, like in 1 word or 1 sentence, if possible.
Okay.
So, shall I start now?
Please. Yeah.
Okay. So, in your opinion, what is life?
So it is a journey. It's a direction of travel, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's a bit like a story. And each part of your life is a different part of your story. You know, you're born, you develop as a child, and you go on into adulthood and develop into work. So it's a journey.
It's a journey, okay. So, next question. What does make you more happy? Like money or friendship?
I think health,
Oh yes.
friendships, and to be honest with people, you know, and not to try and
Honesty.
say honesty. I think
if someone is very honest, you are very happy.
I think it's honesty, and I think and you know, not everyone's going to like you, but you would hope that most people that you come into contact, you leave hopefully feeling better.
Yeah.
That's
very nice answer.
You know.
So if you have the power to become whatever you want, so what would you like to be and why?
I would like to, it might seem strange, but I would like to come into a lot of money and try and use some of that to benefit other people. Obviously make myself secure and those that I love secure and what have you, but to try and benefit others and to promote a nice lifestyle for others if I can. That would be nice.
So
and I'm very lucky.
You want to be like money maker machine?
Well, yeah, but I'd just like to, I'm lucky. I have a good life. I have a lovely home life, and I just want people just to, as soon as is possible, to be happy. People aren't going to be happy all the time, are they? I would be an idiot to say, but that's just to try and make people feel better, and to make things seem a little brighter and better than they probably are, so.
Absolutely, Steve.
Yeah.
Between two countries, please choose one. Russia or Ukraine?
Or UK.
Yeah, Russia or Ukraine?
Oh, Ukraine.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Another question. If you get a free holiday package for Nepal, will you go and why?
Well, I would go because I'm inquisitive. I like to see how other people live. And I gave you the example of Singapore. That was interesting. Different culture, started school out there. So it would be a similar thing, being part of a military family. We travelled the world. So to go to Nepal would be something. And
which part would you like to go for?
Well, when you
the
think
Himalayas areas, or
well, most of us in the UK
the
know
cities areas.
Most of us know because of the Sherpas and Mount Everest and the Himalayas and the history. So that's interesting. That's intriguing. So Edmund Hillary climbing and what have you. So you think of the Sherpas, Tenzing and people like that. So that is intriguing to me, and it's just. But I just like seeing how other people live. Not assuming that the way they live is worse or better, but just to see.
But yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. And where will you see in 5 years' time?
For myself, I don't honestly know. I don't know, to be honest with you. I would hope that I'm healthy, that my family and relations are healthy, and that I achieve.
So another mayor journey?
Well, the way it's done, I'd have to be it's 15 years between different mayoralties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was.
Is that the essential criteria?
That's the criteria.
Oh,
you have,
okay.
You have to have the knowledge and the what have you to develop and to chair meetings really and to look after the council when you're there because that you're chairman of the council when you're doing that. But I would love to be mayor again, but it wouldn't be 5 years' time because I did it when I was mayor when I was 60, so I'm going to be 75 before I can do it again. But all joking aside, Shanti, the thing for me is that you have your health, that the people that you love and care for are healthy and well, and that you do as much as, because people look after me, and make my life happy, and you just try and do what you can. I don't know. I wish I had a crystal ball and say next week you're going to win the lottery, Sue. But
you never know.
But life isn't like that, is it? And so the main thing is you've got your health. Everything else hopefully falls into place, doesn't it? People want lots of money. I'd love to be a millionaire, but that's not going to happen. But you have to, I think, be content with what you have.
Yeah.
So I think for myself, envy is a wasted emotion because all it does is chews you up inside you. Just as long as you're happy with what you've got, I think that's important, and those around you are happy and content. And I've been very lucky in my life that my parents are fantastic. Mum's wonderful. And we have a good family environment. And I think as long as you've got that and you're happy within yourself, I think that counts for a lot. Whether that be 5 years' time, 10 years' time, or whatever, I think that's key for me.
Well done.
Okay.
You have done really well. So in rapid section, so we're gonna give you a special token of love from our Hello Namaste team. So there we go for you. Welcome.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you very much indeed.
My pleasure.
It's very kind. Thank you. Thank you.
Before wrapping up the show, do you have anything to say or if I have missed anything.
I think you've covered all the bases. I think we've had, I hope, an interesting conversation. And I hope that what I've done and what other guests that you may have in the future have, that you see, will be able to boost what you're trying to do and help you with what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
I've thoroughly enjoyed being here this afternoon, and I thank you very much for inviting me here in the first place, and I wish you success in everything you do.
You're welcome. Thank you so much once
pleasure.
again
It's a
for
pleasure.
taking your time for our show. तपाईलाई आजको कार्यक्रम कस्तो लाग्यो? कृपया हामीलाई फिडब्याक प्रतिक्रिया राखिदिनु होला। साथै हाम्रो युट्युब च्यानललाई लाइक, शेयर एन्ड सब्स्क्राइब पनि गर्न नभुल्नु होला। फेरि पनि अर्को नयाँ एपिसोडका साथ, नयाँ गेस्टका साथ आउने बाचा गर्दै आजलाई यो कार्यक्रमबाट बिदा लिन चाहन्छु। म शान्ति लिम्बू।